Okay, so magandang hapon sa lahat. And shalom. So this afternoon we will be learning from the teaching of Rabbi Bakya Ibn Pakuda. And it is called the Gate of Trust, or in Hebrew, ito ay tinatawag na siya bitachon. Bitachon is again what? Trust. And there is a, it belongs to a writing of Rabbi Bakya called The Duties of the Heart, Phobos Halibabos. Okay. So, this is explained to us by Rabbi Michael Scoba. And of course, will be presented to you by yours truly, Nagid o Binaynawak, Congregation of the Jews. So, as shown sa screen, you can go over kung meron mga verses, you can always check on the verses. So, this is session number 30. So, the 30 week na natin, no? Nagtutulog na po dito, 30 weeks. So, this is part of chapter 4. So, before we do it, before we start our lesson, we always first dedicate the zikot or merit ng aming pag-aaral mula sa or para sa Defos Lema o madali ang lunas, recovery ng mga may sakit. Kung meron tayong nakilala or inisip na may karamdaman sa panahon ngayon, ating tandaan ang kanilang mga pangalan habang tayo yung nag-aaral. Then, sa ating mga sarili, ating dedicate, or ating hilingin sa Hashem na tulungan tayo na madaling maintindihan ang mga aralin at ito ay makakatulong sa ating pagunlad na spiritual na aspeto na ating buhay. Okay? At of course, finally, para sa kapayapaan ng Eretz Israel at ng buong mundo at sa tagumpay ng ating Israel Defense Forces or IDF. Okay, so last week, pag-aralan natin mula kay Rabbi Bakya, he was discussing about the question, yung tanong, why Hashem bestows on certain people wealth more than they actually need? Bakit daw nabibigyan ng Hashem ng karangyaan o wealth, kayamanan ang isang tao na sobra sa kanyang pangangailangan. So we can see this in some people, na meron silang sobra-sobrang pera na hindi naman or sobra sa kanilang pangangailangan sa buhay. So again, what are the needs of an individual? Food, clothing, shelter. The rest is mga convenience ng buhay. And the rest is for luxury. Para happiness, yung mga physical pleasure. Okay? The things, kung meron ka ng tatlo, meron kang bahay, meron kang pagkain, 3 beses isang araw, meron kang damit, so you are no longer considered as a poor person. Kasi binigay na kasi sa iyo yung basic mo na pangangailangan. So, aside from that, pangangailangan din ng ating mga anak, the same. Ang kailangan ng ating anak is sa kanilang pag-aaral, Kapag na-provide naman natin yun, ibig sabihin ay tinutulungan tayo ng provide na kasi natin. Kailangan natin, So, more than that, again, it's convenience, So, bakit daw yung ibang tao binibigyan ng Hashem ng sobra-sobra, na hindi naman nila kailangan talaga. So, one reason is that His design, ang disenyo ng taong yun. Kasi bawat isang tao may disenyo yan. May nakadesign na maging doktor, may nakadesign na maging engineer, May nakadesign na maging abogado, may nakadesign na maging janitor, may nakadesign na kung ano pang kailangan sa mundo. So, ang mundo, ginawa ng Hashem, no? So, lahat ng pangangailangan ng mundo, merong tao na naka-assign doon. In other words, hindi lahat gustong maging doktor, maging doktor. Hindi lahat na gustong maging abogado, no? Hindi lahat ng mga gusto maging engineer. Meron talagang mga laborer, meron talagang nasa hindi ganong mataas, no, na trabaho. Kasi kailangan din yun. No? Basically, you have to understand the logic na how can a company work if lahat na lang manager? No? So, meron talagang ang papel dito sa mundo is nasa mga medyo mababang uri ng gawain. Pero, that is only for this world. No? That is the role to play in this world. Ibig sabihin, yun lang yung papel mo dito sa mundo. Kagaya ng isang pelikula, merong script, no? Merong papel yung kada isang artista. So, ganun din. Kada tao merong papel sa paggawa nitong mundo upang gawin itong suitable for the divine presence. Okay? So, one reason, no? Is that yung taong yun, kaya binigyan siya ng sobrang pera o sobrang kayamanan because he will be used as a support to other people. Magiging support siya sa iba. Okay? Then, but wealth is also a means of testing this person. Okay? So yung pera, habang marami kang pera, nagiging mataas din yung level ng pagsubok. Okay? Kaya nga sabi nila, kung tama lang yung pera mo, at least, hindi mo magagamit sa mga bagay na ikakagalit ng ating Creator. Okay? So, he might selfishly assume that the money is exclusively for him. Akala ng tao na yung pera na sobra-sobra sa kanya lahat yun. And his family. Para sa kanyang pamilya din, no? To indulge in luxurious living. Yung mga taong sobra-sobra pera, minsan nag-aakala na yung pera na yun ay sa kanila at saka sa kanilang pamilya para gamitin sa luxury. No? Yung mga makamundong mga ano tawag doon? Makamundong luho. No? Makamundong mga ipagsasaya sa katawan. Okay? So, yung katawan mo, minsan, iniisip mo lagi kung anong ikakasaya ng katawan mo. Nakalimutan mo na yung katawan mo, iiwan mo yan dito sa mundo. Hindi mo naman yan dadalhin doon sa next life. Kaya nga may tinatawag tayo na kamatayan, tama? Kasi doon sa panahon yun, yung katawan babalik sa lupa. Question dyan is, yung kaluluwa mo ba is prepared ba doon sa kabilang buhay? Okay? So, money again is part of God's testing us, no? So, a person who is making a lot of money will be tested in two areas. Dalawang bagay, yung pagsubok, no? Pagsubok sa dalawang lugar. How you run his business with honesty and fairness. Okay? Kung paano daw niya papatakbuhin ang kanyang hanapbuhay na may honesty at saka fairness. Okay? Siya ba ay hindi sinungaling, no? Honest siya. And what he is going to do with his profit that he made. Kung anong gagawin niya doon sa kanyang nakuha na income or kanyang nakuha na ginansya. Okay? So, today, Rabbi Bakya is going to discuss the mistakes, ang mga pagkakamali ng mga taong mayayaman, no? Okay, number 1. Ang isang taong mayaman, kung ibig sabihin, pag sinabi mo kasing mayaman, sobra yung pera niya sa kanyang aktual na pangangailangan. Yun yung makonsider natin as wealthy. So, yung taong yun, akala niya, okay, na kapag siya ay sobrang matinud-anon, no? Sobra siya ka, ano yan sa, ano tawag natin yan? Honest. Sobra siya ka, sa ating language is matinud-anon, no? He'll not be able to meet the expenses of his business. Sobra doon siya na, honest, hindi niya mabayaran yung mga expenses ng kanyang business. In thinking this way, he fails to recognize that his wealth is not a result of anything that he is doing. What is the basic of bitakon? Ano yung basic ng tiwala sa Hashem? Ano yung basic? Ang basic, pinaka-fundamental, pinaka-basic. Pag sinabing basic, pinaka-fundamental. No? Madali kagad na intindihin. Ano ba yung basic ng bitakon? Na yung kinikita mo ay hindi actually resulta ng pagsisikap mo. Kung kinita mo lang yan kasi gusto ng Hashem na kitain mo yan. Kasi may mga tao nag-anong kasikap-sikap, wala pa rin kinikita. Nawawala pa rin. Okay? Yun yung kaibahan, no? Okay, we will discuss that further. Pangalawa, he thinks that the wealth he gained is exclusively for his own use. Akala niya na yung nakuha niyang profit or nakuha niyang ginansya is para lang yun sa sarili niyang gagamit. No? Sa sarili niyang gamit. Okay? And when he gives to charity, he assumes that it is his money. Akala niya yung binibigay niya sa sinata, kanya yung pera. Okay? We know that that money is from Hashem. So Rabbi Bakya teaches that a person should look at the money in 3 categories. So tingnan daw ng tao na yon ang pera sa 3 kategorya. Or kahit tayo, no? Unang-unang kategorya is yung pera na yon is para sa ating personal na pangangailangan, basic needs. So this level of support is guaranteed by Hashem. We see that in Psalm 145, verse 16, no? That Hashem provides to all His creatures. Okay? So, yung mga pangangailangan, needs. So, Rabbi Victor Miller, no? Isa sa mga Torah scholar natin in the previous generation, said that if a man or a person dies of starvation, kapag ang isang tao ay namatay sa gutom, it is because Hashem wills that he should die that time. Kasi gusto ng Hashem na mamatay na siya that time. Hindi dahil actually siya ay nagutom. Ginamit lang ni Hashem yung paraan na siya ay hindi makakain para siya mamatay. Okay? Kasi bawat isang tao, Hashem determine kung kailan ka mamatay. But, you have also the free will kung gusto mong paagahin nyo. But you will violate certain law from the 7 laws. Okay? Which is murder. Kikitilin mo yung buhay mo. Ba? But you have a designated time. Okay? Of death. Kaya, maraming paraan na pwedeng i-implement yung ng Hashem yung kamatayan ng isang tao. Okay? So, kung paano dahilan? Pwede ka masagasaan. Pwede ka makasakit. Pwede ka hindi makakain, no? Kasi malagay kasi sa lugar na wala talagang pagkain. So, yun yung mga paraan. But, it does not mean na hindi ka provide ng Hashem sa pangangailangan mo. Ginamit niya lang instrumento yung starvation or yung hindi ka na makakain para ma-implement yung decree of death. That is according to Rabbi Victor Miller. So, ang pangalawang kategorya, ang unang kategorya kung paano natin tingnan yung pera, tingnan natin sa unang kategorya yung personal natin na pangangailangan. Ang pangalawa is yung pangangailangan ng iba. That includes our family. So, ito na level of support is not guaranteed by Hashem. No? Except in the case of Moshe Rabino, who was told by Hashem that while you are living, habang ikaw ay nabubuhay, ang mana ay mahuhulog galing sa langit para kainin ng mga Israelita. Okay? So, ang pangatlong kategorya ng pagtingin natin sa pera is yung hindi mo kailangan talaga, no? Yung mga luxury na buhay. So, ibig sabihin, yung aspeto ng pera na yon ay tayo lamang ay humahawak. Okay? Hindi talaga yon, yung sobrang pera na yon, custodian lang tayo. Hindi tayo talaga may authority na gamitin yun for our personal use. But sadly, people work hard but will not be able to enjoy it. Okay? Anong ibig sabihin nito? There are some people, no? Sample dito, no? Sadly, there are few cases in this category of wealth, yung not for your own needs, para lang sa sobra-sobra, no? There are few cases in this category of wealth that a robber will take it from the custodian before it. What do you mean to say? For example, marami kang pera, tapos sinaksak ka, namatay ka. Nakuha pa na, o magnanakaw yung pera mo. Okay? So, that is what we mean by, that is not actually a money that is for your own use. Kundi ginawa ka lang, tagapaghawak ng pera na yon, then eventually mapupunta talaga yan doon sa nararapat na mapuntahan ng pera. Okay? So, that is what we mean by become useful to a righteous person at the end. Okay? But if a person uses this extra money for tzedakah or anything that is for the purpose of doing good deeds, no? We are supporting a Torah institution. Sinusuportahan mo yung pagtuturo ng Torah. Sinusuportahan mo yung pagbibigay ng pagkain. Everything about that, no? So, when you do that, then you will be blessed by Hashem with continuous wealth. And yun yung garantiya doon. Okay? But, kung hindi, pwedeng kunin yan sa iyo anytime. Okay? So, it is also important for us to know that there is a difference between hoarding money, yung tinataguan mo lang yung pera, no, na wala ka talaga ng purpose yun, and saving money. Pwede tayong mag-save ng pera para sa importanteng mga kadahilanan. Like for example, may papagamot ka, medical, or merong darating na pagtitipon, no? Kailangan ka mag-contribute kasi you want to be part of the mitzvah na gagawin doon. Okay? So, that is one way of saving money. That is not hoarding money. Yung hoarding money, yung tinatago mo lang na wala ka namang dahilan, no? So, an example of this, no? Itong third category ng pagtingin sa pera, no, is what happened to Haman. Okay, in the book of Esther, chapter 8, verse 5. So, Haman, yung kalaban ni Mordecai, no? Yung isa sa mga malalaking tao sa Persia, no? During the time of Queen Esther, no? He accumulated so much wealth, nagkaroon siya ng maraming kayamanan without realizing na ginamit lang pala siya ng Hashem para eventually yung kayamanan niya mapupunta kay sino? Mordecai. Okay, kasi binitay si Haman. Okay? So napunta yung kayamanan niya. So that is what we mean by pwede kang gawing custodian kasi hindi naman para sa Torah yung nasa isip mo. Yung isip mo lang is magpayaman ka kasi gusto mo maging mayaman. Gusto mo lang na kilalanin ka bilang mayaman. Okay? So that is the difference, no? So number 3, the third, no? The third mistake ng isang taong kumikita ng sobrang pera is he thinks that when he supports others, he is supposed to keep telling them about it. Yun bang, oy, nagbigay ako ng 1,000, oy, nagbigay ako ng ganun. So, that is an example to this kind of mistake, no? This creates an impression to other people na yung taong yun ang nagiging source ng pangangailangan ng isang taong yun. Diba? For example, laging ina-announce no, na nagbigay ako ng ganito. Tapos yung binibigyan niya, ang isip niya, siya yung source, hindi ang Hashem. That will create an impression. Okay? Okay, so that is the third, no? For this time, yun lang muna yung ating i-discuss, and next week we will be continuing on session number 31. So, if you have some questions, pwede nyo itanong. There's still time. Okay, but before, habang iniisip nyo yung tanong, no? I would like to greet those who are watching us from the live streaming, no? Yung Malita community natin, no? Headed by their leader, Marcelito Dugyab, and also from Digos, no? Prayer leader, senior prayer leader, Marvin Domingo and his family, and along with the members of the Andes Crown Security Agency. Okay, so sa ating mga kasama na hindi nakapunta dito personally, no? We also wish them shalom, no? For this afternoon. Okay, so anything you want to ask about the session number 30? I wish everybody a pleasant afternoon, and wishing to and hoping to see you next week for another session of the Gate of Trust or Sha'ar Habitakon. And wish you all blessings of good health, livelihood, and peace. Shalom.
Shalom.